Hopes are high for XRP. Why? You don't really have to ask. Following the events of February, you cannot help but imagine just where the coin could go next. It's emerging largely unscathed by the scare of the SEC lawsuit so far. It's left several critics wondering why it's not dead yet. If you've ever listened to one of them before, you'll hear grumbling and retort now as they wonder why XRP did not go down to ground zero as expected. The case of XRP is peculiar, and we don't know why, but a lot of people popped up with comments that made it seem as though they had a personal vendetta against the coin. The crypto market, though closely knitted, has all its member currencies not in direct competition with each other. There's more than enough space for each one to grow, since it is a relatively new industry itself. It also has a perk to it, which makes sure that investors can own more than one type of crypto and still be the better for it. You wonder why anyone would hate another crypto? Because you're a holder of a rival crypto? It's ridiculous thinking to assume that the growth of a crypto like XRP could hurt another crypto or its investors. It just clarifies the fact that people can only hate what they don't understand, and from this angle, XRP is here to stay. Welcome back to Make Money Online. Today, we'll be looking at the interesting news of XRP bulls and the reminder to prepare for the bumpy road ahead as important levels are added. We'll also be looking at the latest XRP news and XRP price predictions and analytical angles that seem to be taking shape. If you're watching a video on this channel for the very first time, I'll suggest that you watch our other videos on XRP. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button to get notifications every time we upload a new one. Announcing an incoming bearish market is nothing to write home about, to some people. Minus, of course, traders who have a good bet down on a potential dip. An interesting hodler can also take great joy in buying at a cheaper price in the bearish market. The last 2 weeks have seen the entire crypto market take on a dipping pattern, with crypto giant Bitcoin leading the charge. It was almost comical to see this happen. Analysts who had been watching the market closely observed that other cryptocurrencies had been following the pattern of Bitcoin. These altcoins rose when Bitcoin rose and dipped in some cases where Bitcoin dipped. The only exception being Ethereum, which consolidated for some time at its new all-time high, as well as XRP, which showed some impressive pump and consolidation. However, neither of them was to be left out, as the general market underwent a bold correction that saw Bitcoin slip further down as far as $46,000, and it's still struggling to consolidate. Ethereum as well did not go unscathed, as it lost about $600 off its new all-time high at about $2,000. To settle at the $1,300 to $1,400 range. The correction started on the 21st of February and stretched into the 22nd of February. This coincided with the day before the maiden pretrial conference hearing for Ripple versus the SEC. The price of XRP pumped on the 21st and went against the flow of the current that other cryptos seemed to be following down in the dip. Critics piped out that it would fall back down on the day of the pretrial conference as it joins other crypto in the ongoing downtrend, and they expected its own slip to be much worse. Surprisingly, the price actually surged and held for most of the day at 62 cents. The level of expectations of XRP investors was amped up, and it proved to be a crucial factor in keeping the price of the coin performing better than any other crypto on the day-to-day chart. This was a day that XRP holders did not let pessimistic opinions and sentiments get the better of them. It was as admirable as it was beautiful. There were expectations in some corners that this would eventually be dampened if the pre-trial conference turned out to be a sour event. And oh, how the person who thought that would be disappointed. The day started off first with a price surge before it was capped by the news of the SEC making a last-minute change to the agenda of their suit against Ripple. Things had changed and they were amending their charges and ultimately not pushing any real charges against XRP being a security, or so it seemed. It was pretty confusing until a top lawyer analyzed the details of the event in a publication. He reported that the SEC presented their facts about the reason why XRP is a security, and it wasn't any different from the same things that exempted Ethereum from the same kind of probing. They also failed to address the allegation that Ripple used XRP for personal gains. A different light that was a bone of contention, as pointed out by former SEC chair and ex-attorney of the United States, Mary Jo, was the fact that it took them too long to take a step to identify XRP as a security. And she didn't think it was the right move to take after such a while. She also said that they will be unable to make sense of the case, as it would be better for the case to not be pushed at all. And she was right, after all. That was the gist of the day, and XRP was all the better for it. XRP investors were quick to move in on their expectations for the crypto. The SEC case was proving to be less of a threat than it initially was, and it became apparent that XRP's price would continue to thrive regardless of what the SEC does. It's business as usual without a single ounce of worry for what the eventual turnout of the lawsuit may be. In fact, the victory signs are becoming more glaring, and unless the SEC can pull a magical rabbit out of the hat, this case might just be one with a foregone conclusion. For the first time in months, XRP joined the current general cryptocurrency lows, and nobody actually credited it to the ripple effect of the lawsuit. It was just plain old volatility taking its course. Analysts have come up with new insight into this, and we'll see from the analysis of FX Street just what they think of XRP's potential to hit the bulls. According to FX Street, XRP USD eased from an intraday high of 42.5 cents to currently around 42.1 cents. Even so, the altcoin keeps the bounce off the short-term horizontal support line while flashing 1.5% gains on a day. With the momentum indicator favoring the recovery moves, buyers are up for confronting 61.8% Fibonacci retracement of its January 27th to February 1st upside at 44 cents. However, the quote's upside past 44 cents will be questioned by the upper line of the one-week alt falling channel and 200-bar SMA, respectively near 45.2 cents and 46.5 cents. Although XRP USD upside past 46.5 becomes doubtful, a sustained run-up will not hesitate to challenge the 50 cents and one-month-old resistance line, around 61.5 cents. On the flip side, the stated horizontal support of 39.5 cents precedes the support line of the immediate channel, near 38.1, to restrict the altcoin's immediate downside. Also acting as the downside filter is an ascending trend line from February 2nd, currently around 37 cents. To sum up, XRP USD is ready for a corrective pullback, but the bulls are less likely to be pleased. What does this mean for you and I? One thing you need to understand is that at the onset of a bullish run, the movement just before it starts is a very great opportunity. There's nothing as good as getting a good buy-in before any crypto goes bullish. In this bullish run of XRP, we could probably see its price return to the mid-50s and surge above it as it aims to return above 70 cents, a level which it saw in its November to December 2020 run, right before Ripple got hit with the lawsuit. At that level, we can anticipate the price going close or actually crossing the fence at the $1 level, which will put Cardano in its crosshairs at around $1.24. If it manages to surpass Cardano, we could ultimately see the coin return to the top 4, if not the top 3 crypto ranking in the world, on all exchanges that still trade the crypto. In this chart, the analyst suggests that 43 cents will hold ideally, but he thinks that a stay above 40 cents would suffice. The price currently resides in a triangle, though it's not a triangle pattern. It represents the area that we would like the price to maintain in order to keep challenging the upper channel line of the hovering bear channel. Sooner or later, he thinks the price will break through. The major bottoms are marked out as 1 and 2, and the turning point was observed as well, which includes the 2017 bear market bottom. This is nothing more than identifying a pattern. It may be nothing, but it was interesting to note, especially since many are looking for much lower prices in order to buy the dip. At the moment, this idea is questionable, since markets have a way of deteriorating investor sentiments, and emotionally we become conditioned to the idea that price needs to go lower, as it seems almost expected. That is when it often does the opposite. We could see a polarizing effect in the price trend. Things may not end up as they seem. Although even now, some analysts still think the coin's price could still slip lower, but not enough to enter a full bear channel. Therefore, they think buying the dip would suffice as an action for the time being. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you can get updates whenever we post a new video. Now that you understand the bullish direction of the XRP price trend, what do you think? Are you prepared for a possible dip in order to buy just before it starts? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And while you're here, go ahead and click on one of the videos on your screen. See you next time.